Hello, hello, hello. Okay, everything's working, all good. How is everyone today? Welcome, welcome. I'm back to matte painting. Hopefully better this time. That, and I need to construct this slightly differently. But the first thing I'm going to do... I sneeze really hard, apparently. Oh my god. Oh, sorry. Okay, but we're good. We're all good. There are a few things I need to do to make this work best. Just kind of integrate it through, and then to split it into some different pieces. And this one. Part of the reason for this is to just oh, thank you. It should not be. It didn't update when I clicked the update button for it, it seems. Tells me my category must be wrong. Oh no. Okay, we're updated. Oh, is it wrong on YouTube as well? No. That'll be a disaster. I'm sniffling. I just sneezed awfully. I have gained the sniffles. Oh no, it's fine. It updated on YouTube. It just didn't update on Twitch. Weird. Ah. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate. What's the oh no for? Ah, I see. Yes. But I did have the sniffles at the moment. I'm finding it very annoying. I don't like feeling sniffly. It does happen though. Much to my consternation. I know. Look at us two. Oi, oi, oi. I'm gonna move these right the way up, so I can do a load of drawing on top of everything else. Do I do it? I kind of like the extra gloom. In a way. Right. This is very lit up, but actually this being gloomy is quite pleasant. I need to do the water. That's what I actually need to sort, so we're going to turn these off too. Right. Let's do a pretty dark greyish blue tone. And let's go here. Even darker. Edging towards just being black, actually. And I'm going to use a brush without any opacity for it. Does it need to be darker? Maybe it needs to just be darker. Even than this. Yeah, probably so. Because I was going to use a tone that was a touch darker than this to lay in like fake reflections here. Right. Not fake reflections, that's the wrong wording, but reflections without having to texture, like, substance them. But maybe the whole thing needs to be a step darker anyway. So 100% black. Let's go to 7%. Yeah, 7% is good, I think. Now we can look at the obvious, right? So the first thing, I'll add more tree roots later. I need to redo that, actually. There we go. Okay. Then we're going to take full 100% black, which is 0% color, to be more precise. Then we take the angle of incidence to the water. And we establish some loose shadows, which will exist as these within our space. It is absolutely the wrong thing to have been doing. Oops. Click the wrong button. There we go. Okay. And now for the difficult bit. Each of these that are over the water in some respect we need to, at great effort, turn reflective. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to take them one by one and flip them. Flip. Only the ones that are going to appear in the water. That's very important to this. And then we're going to do something like all that. That. Something along those lines. It won't be quite like this. But actually, that's not terrible. It won't be quite like that. That was just the example. Because I'm going to merge all of these together. Not that one. Merge all of these together. And then afterwards I'll blur them. I still have to do them individually though, because and this is where it gets a little complicated. But I can't just, if I flip them all, they end up in the wrong place. This is because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this, and then these can all be under the water actually. And then we'll make this brush a bit smaller for a minute. It's going to come in, that's going to come out. It's going to come out. That can have like a little semblance of structure. This is the water, so of this one, the part that should exist is this bit. All the way. A little bit. Then we'll move it up so it's a perfect cutout. Close enough. I can always delete it if I don't like it. The rule of all artists. Just get rid of the stuff you don't like. A little smaller. And the others there appear, so we're on to this one. There is a special trick that will make this look better, because I know right now they don't look perfect. I sort of showed the hand blending, but we're going to do something a little bit fancier, you know. Just because we can, not necessarily because we should. There's a few tricks to it that are quite important, if you actually think about it, because things like the reflection in the water can't be quite as bright as the actual original, so to speak. That's quite an important part of what we're about to do, is we need to color grade them so it's the right thing, and then in every other way just kind of like take all of the bits that need to be different, because that's how the world works. It's how physics and light and reflectivity functions. And we need to make sure that everything we're doing kind of follows those rules. Not because people are experts in physics, but because people are experts in the world, whether they realize it or not. And if we don't do things how they actually are in reality, people do notice. They really do. Way more than I think I ever originally expected. I think it's probably one of the biggest learning curves in concept art is the fact that people notice when you break reality. They really do. And it's not fun to get caught out breaking reality, because it ruins a lot of hard work if you're not careful. So we have all of these, and I'm going to apply a filter and a Gaussian blur. I'm going to apply it. Do I want a Gaussian? Do I want a motion? Maybe I want a motion. Maybe I want both. I'm going to do a 6% Gaussian blur, and then I'm going to add another filter, which is going to be a motion blur. Yeah, about 3% motion blur. And then we're going to do a new layer. We're going to change it to multiply. We're going to clip it to the layer below. And I'm going to fill black on the multiply. And tone down their color. Maybe a little bit heavier on that. And tone down the color, and then I'm just gonna take it back the tiniest bit with a soft brush at the apex of their light. This is the part where they're reflecting most off the surface of the water, right? So it just should ring a little more vibrant, because that's where the light's actually hitting on the surface. There we go. Now, basically the easy way to now figure out whether everything else is correct for this is just to flip them upside down, right? So if I took one of these, like this statue, and I'm going to copy it and I'm going to flip it upside down. And we go here. There's a reason for this. We're going to do the same thing, basically. Where I'm going to set up a fake sort of shadowy reflection-y thingy. The real question here is whether I allow the orange. So with some of them, it may be that I should have the orange tone. But if you look, like if I turn this on its head and put it base to base, do you see there's actually there's no way that reflection would show. It kind of hits the wrong place. And actually, it's fine, but it does need to go like here instead. But what I do is if I make that super transparent and just chop, 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 chop. It starts to establish some of the reflection, and then we're going to do the filter, and we're going to do the blur, and we're going to do the motion blur again at about 3.4%. And that's kind of going to do everything I need it to, right? because it doesn't need a lot. And that then tells me what I need for the rest of them. So I can pick this colour and just paint it. Over the top. And actually I need to do it more intelligently than that. I need to do a new layer that's a normal layer. And I can just paint this colour in here. Right, because that is how this works. And it should be subtle. Which is why, again, this gets a filter, blur, motion blur, boom. It doesn't need to be highly detailed. Okay, I'm just going to do a few other quick adjustments, and actually, maybe I just go for it now I've done this. Weesh. That was a hefty merge down. I just merged all of the layers. Like the whole way. Okay, now I'm going to take this, make it way smaller. Should be good. I think that's a bad idea. I think I want to photo bash it still. I'm just going to keep going with some bits of this particular. Like, I like this segment essentially. But maybe in a different way. Maybe I want more like that. Yeah, I think I do. Then, actually, I think this is important to do then. I don't need to go the whole way, but let's do 3%. A little bit more. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep merging it down now. Why not? You can find some more true roots to that frontal bit. And around the sides again. But I think that's okay. Let's... Perfect. And I shall do two at once, shall I? Or all of them at once. Aha. Go to a hard round. should actually just do very little. I think what I need is another set of tree roots. I think that one's pretty... Tree roots are difficult because I want to find one that's interesting. But not too interesting, in essence. It can't be so interesting it doesn't look real. That's the caveat. hope I'm correct. That was entirely blind. Oh, I actually wasn't far off. It used to be a little darker. Okay. Just need to remove the bits that overlap too heavily. There we go. That's actually merged shockingly well in the end, I think. It's slightly too bright. Okay, let's do something more intriguing for a minute. I'm going to grab this again. I'm going to take it piece by piece for this. Okay, maybe we just use it. Maybe actually needs to be the other way. Yeah, there we go. The goal is to use these pieces to start breaking up the silhouette. Just a little bit more. Okay. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to tone them down each. Using the levels. Layer settings, clip to layer below. Switch to the soft just for this bit. I think it's actually okay to have it that bright. Okay, I think that works. So there we go. Now the color adjustment is baked in. Whew. I think it's the fact it's slightly escaping is actually the problem. Yeah, let's do another one. This one. As usual, we make it smaller and move it along. Fixing up the photo bashing is actually quite difficult, but we're still doing okay here. And we'll do another one along. I think I need to make a few manual adjustments because it's actually looking quite friendly. So some of the things I want to change. Actually, I think that nasal slit is the main one. Maybe we try a tiny pinprick of light in each of the eye sockets. Certainly makes them suitably creepy. Yeah, I think that works. Second horn, all of that jazz. I think that's okay. Now let's do another set for the right side. So I think actually the chest bit is good on this left one. So I think even the perspective just works for me. So I'm going to copy and paste that one. I'm going to flip it horizontal. Yeah. I think I'm going to do the thing I did originally with them. Okay. Now merge those two and just adjust them a little more. Then we're going to take the spikes, I think. We're going to do that old chestnut again. With, of course, manual alterations. Let's grab that. They just need a little bit more variation, don't they, actually? Look a little bit realistic. Let's grab some texture. Texture does a lot to convince you stuff is real. Between texture and color variation, it kind of just does the job for me. I am funny. So I just did the work on 2 different places. Like it, my brain is so dumb sometimes. What? So yeah, I'll go and do the shoulder piece on a different one than the one I was working on. Sure, that makes perfect sense. There we go. No, it's better before. Yeah, I think we do it this way and I just cut those bits that I don't need. Maybe it's better just like that. And we need to do the head. We're going to go here again. We're going to grab that. Grab that horn this time. That was bad, so I'm going to start again. I'm going to be more precise here anyway, actually, I think. Just for posterity's sake. I'm going to cut a little of that bottom jaw out because I really don't like the shape as much. I can be more precise with this afterwards. Like, I'm going to clean it up anyway, right? So the amount it matters is a little limited, but flip horizontal. That's huge. Let's condense it a little. So I've made the head on the other side huge, actually. In my brain, I kind of hadn't made it that enormous. Then we have a hierarchy. Cool. Now for some of the manual stuff, so... The goal is I'm basically taking the same thing I'd done before, but I'm just doing it better this time. By the way, that's what's happening here, if anyone was wondering. I've already done this once, it just wasn't good enough. So now I'm like, okay, I will do it again. And that's sometimes why with photo bashing, it is a measure twice, cut once situation. You just need to do it better the first time sometimes, or have done it better the first time. And that's okay. Like, the fact my first attempt was bad is completely fine. It really is. Because I can still go in and fix it like this. Orange. Let's do the brown like in the other ones. It still needs a little bit of the black to make it interesting. There we go. The contrast is the visual interest, so if we don't have the black, it's not actually that visually interesting. Okay. Now I'm going to do this manually. Instead of with a correction layer, I'm like a levels curves that I was doing before. I'm just going to manually go in and adjust this. And part of the reason for that is I'm going to use dark brown instead of black for my multiply. And it's going to slightly recolor it too. And I'm going to do over all the bits I want corrected. And actually I'm going to use a soft brush for some of this actually. Okay, now do I want it this colour? No, so we're going to go back in with the soft eraser. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut out the eye and around the jaw. To a little there, to a little there. I'm going to put it back in a second, don't worry. And then we're going to come in there, come in a bit there. I want there to be enough visual interest still in this to make it worthwhile. Like, the inside of the horn doesn't matter, the outside of the horn doesn't really matter, but this underside of the jaw matters quite a lot by comparison. And then similarly, that being brighter and that being brighter is somewhat important. I'm going to take this multiply layer and just apply it. I'm going to put it all the way at the top actually. I can apply it here too, and then we're going to take it away a little bit from the back of the horn. And so I can apply it a bit there and down here. And mostly so I can apply it a little on this body, because they are a little vibrant. Just in some places. There we go. Now the creepy statue vibes are back. I feel. And we're going to take this, and we're going to go here, and I want that slightly paler colour, so I can just again add some definition and texture to these spines. There we go. And we're going to take away a little bit of the darkness here because it looks silly instead of good. Okay. The last place I'm going to multiply the heck out of is just under there to create a visual separation that I would desire for it. Over the top. I want that to be in dark so that it looks more drastic when you see it. Then that comes here, and we're just gonna do a good old-fashioned choppity chop along this line. Isn't that much better? Much more intimidating. On both sides, I think that's a much stronger silhouette. So let's merge these down now. And then I'm going to merge all of it. I was worried that was going to happen. Okay, we're going to merge these. Oh, why is it? There we go. I hate multiply layers sometimes. Like, what is this doing? Maybe I just clip. No, but that doesn't. God, I hate this sometimes. Well, that can merge down. This actually makes me cross because I want it to work without. I don't know why it's doing that. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I'm just googling it because that shouldn't be working that way. Ah. It's just the overlapping stuff. I see, I see. Okay, wait. It's actually really annoying. It's fine, I'll just do it manually then. Whatever. So I've given up on the, like, I've given up on it working in the way I want it to, so we'll just do it normally. That's absolutely fine. Let's start with here. He's a giant. That should be about correct size-wise. I am eyeballing it, but I'm pretty confident that's right. Right, this one needs to go below, because it's going to move along. Should be lower, slightly. I think. This is also part of the issue. I'm like, wait, is that how that's supposed to work? I actually probably need to perspective warp it a very tiny bit, and that's why it's causing me some problems. Because these should be very slightly changing perspective every time we move down, right? Like that's part of the differences that each one will have. Whee! This one's tiny, but also high. And that last one needs some deletions. This one needs a little perspective ping. Not much though. What she needs. Look at that. As does this one, I think. There we go. And the big one that is nearest us requires a little deletion. And now we're going to work on the multiply layer again. Big this time with a bit of texture. Am I just dumb? Should they just... They should have moved up, right? Or more precisely, the end ones should have moved down. That should be like there. That's still fine, that can die, I guess. Yeah, this whole thing just needs to move down with it. Wrong button. Yeah, and then this one also needs to move. Wait. Yeah, something like that. And then that one needs to be higher. But I might not perspective warp it, I might do another one again. Because what we're going to do is we're going to take the multiply layer and we're going to shuffle it down. Coherently again. And this one is fine, but we're going to take and copy it. We're going to delete this one. Because we're going to take this one and we're going to move it over here. And we're going to go woo. Because it just needs to be higher and smaller, doesn't it? Not significantly higher than that, actually. Maybe a little smaller. The main thing is that one's a big step up. And we'll take this multiply and see what we get. Not anything too different, honestly. Is it? We'll just leave it. Okay. I think that's better. There we go. Having to do this in CinemaScope is actually so hard. Probably not. That's bad. This little bit can stay. Everything else there was bad. Formulation and thought-wise, but that's better. Now we've just got this one thing at the end to sort. Yeah, let's do this one. Yeah, let's use the big one. I was thinking of using the side one, but I think we want the big front one, just with a little alteration. Okay, let's all go skull. Make sure we delete everything. Okay. Now it's how we're applying it. And I think I'm going to try initially a multiply layer for the texture, but I think that's not right. So let's... stuff up for a second. Let's try an overlay. So all of those do interesting things, right? Both multiply and overlay do something quite interesting. But what I'm going to try... is a double multiply on top of the normal to exaggerate everything. And then we're going to really adjust normal, so... clip to layer below. Okay, new correction layer. Levels. And let's like really dip it. Yes. I think that works. And then what I need to do is do some real manual adjustments quickly. So, both in color and form. I'll borrow that like color here. Actually, let's readjust that. To try and imitate these horns is actually tough. I've made this very hard for myself. Oh, saving. There we go. That's where I think we're gonna wrap it up for today. We're still not there yet, but I think we're getting closer. I think those are much more punchy. I think the addition of the reflections in the water was hopefully helpful, and I think it's looking better. I don't love it. I'm going to spend a load of time working on props this week instead, which I am excited for, because I like props a lot more than this. Alright, I'm going to find someone to raid, and then I'm going to head off. So I hope you all have a good afternoon. I hope you enjoyed the stream. Sorry for not streaming yesterday. That was slightly unavoidable. But obviously back to normal schedule this week, so every day except Sunday. Thank you very much, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.